Hello, everyone. I'm going to talk about a net zero and a fair world is a better world. I would like to start with an introduction or the agenda. I would like to introduce JLL because I can assume that a lot of you think, what the heck or who the heck is JLL? The next step is I would like to introduce you on topics why we should act on sustainability. And the last point on my agenda is what is our strategy, what is our answer to the topics that I have given you in point 2, and our implementation. So I will start with who is JLL. We are a leading professional firms related to the real estate industry. We have a variety of services that we offer to our clients. For instance, valuation. We value the portfolios, real estates that our clients are having. We also have the office leasing part, helping our clients to find offices, but also shopping centers, industrial parts, and things like that. We also have the Department of Asset Management that we are doing asset management for our clients, but we also do facility management for a variety of clients like Procter & Gamble, Amazon, Microsoft, and so on. The industries, as I just said, vary, and you can find our clients on the different markets throughout the world. And the size of our clients also vary. They can be profit or non-profit organizations, but can also be private and public, or can be governments. All what they have in common is that they're outsourcing real estate services. We also have a firm or entity that is called LaSalle Investment, and LaSalle is investing for our clients, also private and publicly, into different sort of assets, private assets and publicly traded real estate securities. We have a strong and direct correlation between our environmental, social, ESG performance and on our long-term health. We address that in our sustainability strategy by having ambitious targets, and we commit to the highest standards of governments, corporate governments that you can imagine. And we hold ourselves accountable for our performance. Our purpose is to shape the future of a real estate for a better world. With the most advanced technologies, we want to create rewarding opportunities for us, for our people, and our clients. As a Fortune 500 company, we help real estate owners, investors, and occupiers to achieve their ambitions. JLL currently is based in 80 countries. We have 380 offices, and we have a workforce of over 100,000 people. So just to give you a short impression about the awards and what we are working towards sustainability, or the broader meaning of sustainability. So we are ranked as with A on the climate list 2021. We are on place 1 on the Forbes 2021 America's Best Employees for Diversity. Or we are also named as Best Place to Work for LGBT Equality. I don't go through all, but I'm very proud to say that we are in the 15 years consecutive the world's most ethical company. And we are also on the Dow Jones Sustainability Index of North America. Now that you know what JLL does and what we are doing, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Nora Hoffmann. I'm a senior manager for sustainability business development. My responsibility is to make sure that I translate the global strategy that we are having at JLL to translate it in the German one with our cultural conditions that we're having. And I'm also responsible for implementing sustainability into our business lines that I just introduced at the beginning. So that said, now you know what JLL does, who I am, who is your representative. I would like to go to the next topic point on my agenda, the second point, why we should act and need to act towards sustainability. So the first point that I'm having is that we recognize a really strong movement from society. So we recognize the Fridays for Future movement with Greta as a speaker. We also see that more and more consumers are requesting sustainable products. So people, or 66% of consumers, would like to have a more sustainable product. They are not willing to pay for a product that is cheap and is harming the environment. What we as a company also recognize, but is also proven in studies, that 66% of the millennials are looking for a company with purpose. And this purpose is mostly associated and related to sustainability. When I talk about society, I include also our tenants and the shareholders from a real estate perspective. The next part I would like to mention are the sustainable regulation, and I'm sure everybody knows, so I don't go into detail. The binding framework of the EU, the SFDR, for instance, or the taxonomy. We have the renovation waiver and any other local requirements. As a matter of fact, we also have a lot of ESG capital equity that is now flowing the market. The forecast says that 50% until 2025, the professional managed assets will be related to ESG. And what I would like to phase out here is that we should see ESG as an opportunity for growth for the future, but not only as a duty. My last point is about climate change, and I won't bother you too long with that, and I don't want to draw an apocalyptic scenario, but that's a given fact. So we have more and more rain, more and more heat, seasons are shifting, the Antarctic is melting, we become or getting more and more deserts, forests get more fire. We experience this just this summer, and many other points, and also that 75 children are starving currently. So the common trigger for the climate change is our ever-increasing global warming. This has not only catastrophic effects on the nature or on infrastructure, but also on economics, and it threatens our political stability. And former UN Secretary Ban Ki-moon once said that climate change will be the all-defining problem that we're having. Which leads me to my next slide, where I think that climate change is the biggest existential challenge that we are going to face, and that this decade is crucial. So we talked about the climate change that is related to the 1.5 global warming target. And we need to achieve, according to the UN, till 2050, a decarbonization path. But I want to really stress out the next number. So the real estate or buildings are responsible for 39% of the carbon emissions globally. I repeat. 39% of the carbon emissions globally, the buildings are responsible for. That gives us, as a real estate industry, a really strong act to act on sustainability and work towards it. And then we have the figure of 30% that buildings are responsible for the worldwide energy consumptions. So now that we've talked about the consequences and the reasons why we should act, this is the answer that we found at JLL. So we are led by our purpose, which is we shape the future of a real estate for a better world. We don't only want to set our target, we want to have an impact. So that's why we created 3 issues where we want to have an impact. The first one is climate action for sustainable real estate. The second one is healthy spaces for all people. And the third one is inclusive places for thriving communities. So that you get a better idea what does that mean, I would like to explain the material issues. So under climate action, we want to work towards energy efficiency, and therefore the climate will benefit. We want to create more sustainable buildings. We want to have an impact on natural capital and therefore decrease pollution. We want to work towards waste and circularity. And we want to work for adaptation and resilience. And we definitely need to work on our business travel. Under healthy spaces for all people, you can associate the topics health, safety, and security, but also healthy buildings. And which is also an important topic, employee well-being. And last but not least, the responsible supply chain. Under inclusive places, we have the topic of D&I. We want our employees to be engaged. We want to engage our engagement for communities. And we also want to make sure that we respect and integrate human and labor laws in our strategy. So now I want to make it a little bit more concrete, that you know what our targets are under each issue. So under climate action, and this is the strongest argument that we are having in our energy management strategy. We want to achieve net zero carbon emissions across scope 1, 2, and 3 by 2040. We also want to remove single-use plastic across the globe. And we want to institute water management across the offices that we're having. So we have created a water map, so to say, to see in which countries or areas do we have any issues with water. And we also want to transit or support the circular economy. With healthy spaces for all people, we want to improve the well-being of our employees, but we also want to reduce the accident that happen on site. We also want to upskill the competencies of our employees with regards to sustainability. And we are also working globally on a green and diversified supply chain. On the very right side, you see on the inclusive places for thriving communities that we want to achieve a best class inclusion. That's a score that is given that you participate, and we do that every year. We want to balance the gender in the leadership, especially in the senior leadership. We also want to contribute and extend our engagement in communities. We are donating every year at least 1% of pre-tax profit to charity organizations. And last but not least, we are committing to 75% of our commitments to the 6 SDGs that we have committed to. Now I would like to go a little bit deeper what the net zero carbon pathway looks for us. So I named the presentation A Better World is a Net Zero World. So I would like to dig a little bit deeper into that. So a code red for humanity was issued in the 6th report of the IPCC from the United States. And the message was that companies need to act on their carbon reduction immediately. JLL has been on a journey since 15 years for sustainability. We help our clients to reduce or support their sustainability agenda. We addressed our first carbon footprint in 2011 and made our commitment. In 2018, when we created and released and launched our purpose, we shaped the future of real estate for a better world. The first time we announced our science-based target. We wanted to reduce scope 1 and 2 by 68% till 2034, and to cut the scope 3 emissions by 53% over the same period. And this was formally approved by the Science Based Targets Initiative 2020. In 2020, we also signed with the World Green Building Council Net Carbon Zero that we are going to operate our own buildings till 2030 with net zero carbon. But we recognized in the same year that we need to be more active and need to take more ambitions and bold actions to work towards sustainability. And so in May 2021, we announced that we are going to achieve net zero carbon by 2040. That means our whole global inventory of GHG emissions. In the same move, we also signed the climate pledge, which has the same message that we are going to announce net zero carbon till 2040. So that means that we are a standard net zero carbon organizations. So the total footprint will be reduced by 2030 with 51% and 95% of 2040. We also announced or stated that we are going to only offset 5% of our total carbon emissions, 5% with a baseline to 2018. And we will report on our carbon emission on a yearly basis in our sustainability report. You can find it if you just enter JLL sustainability report. You find the carbon emission, the data that we're having, or you also can find it on the register on the page of the UN Global Compact. So now I'm showing you how our carbon emission looks like. So as you can see, there's a whole circle that is 100% of our carbon emission. 96% of our carbon emissions are coming from the clients, the sites that we manage on behalf of our clients, like for Amazon, for HSBC, Procter & Gamble, Microsoft. So this is, for us, the biggest challenge that we need to work towards too. And the smaller things that you can see are our sites and our fleet and the travel that our employees are doing. So as I said at the beginning, the real estate industry is accountable for almost 40% of the energy-related carbon emissions. So we, as a real estate industry, have a significant impact to work towards sustainability, that we can help our people, our clients, and our communities with this mission. And we know that the global warming issue that is caused by the emissions has a huge impact. And so we are pretty well aware that we need to work across all levels of our organization, which means the biggest challenge that we're having the client's emission, but also on our own side, on our fleet, on our business travel, and the supply chains that we're working on. And the most important part, that our clients need to be on the decarbonization path, otherwise we won't reach our target. So just to show you, that's a graphical way how it looks like. On the very left side, you see our baseline, which was made 2018. And then we have our near-term goal that is 2030, 50%, and 2040 is 95%. And the near-term goal and the long-term goal is the definition that the Science Based Targets initiative has given. So now I want you, so I explained what is our target, how we want to do that. No, I didn't say how I want to do that. I do that now. So on the left side, you can see the activities that are important for us. That means office space, vehicle, and clients. These are our biggest emissions that we're having. And then we have the emission scopes that are related to, and then the reduction activities and emissions from 2018. And below you find the activities that we're working towards. And so 2030, we have committed in 2020 to achieve net zero carbon by 2030. On that we are going to do in our building that we are currently in with energy efficiency buildings. And if we are moving into a new building, we make sure that we have really high energy standards. And if it is necessary, we also will work or do fit outs. Where it is possible, we approach or purchase renewable energy from a credible source. And if that's not possible, we will acquire renewable energy certificates, so-called RECs, also from a credible source or any equivalent. Any residual emissions we want to offset, but only from a high quality perspective. The next part is our vehicle fleet. So we anticipated to have 100% EV by 2032. We have a significant fleet, mostly carried out in our energy engineering services. They are in the US and in Europe, Middle East, Africa, also known as EMEA. And we are currently in the process of shifting from combustion engines to electrical vehicle fleets or any similar low emission technologies. And the third point I just mentioned, we need to urgently partner with our clients to realize the net zero carbon, that they are on the decarbonization path. And the partnership is a key pillar of our business strategy. So that said, this was our bigger picture and our strongest argument that we are having towards the energy management, but we also have smaller initiatives, which I would like to present you now. As I said at the beginning in the presentation, for instance, we also participate or follow the circular economy principles. And we offered, especially here in Germany, our employees so-called lunch boxes. The idea came up when we were in the middle of a lunch and we saw the amount of waste that were created when people are running out, taking their lunch in these plastic boxes, just eating it and just throw it away. And we thought that we need to find a better solution for that. So we bought these boxes and we offered them to our employees across all our 11 offices that we're having in Germany. And guess what? We drastically released or decreased the amount of waste that we are having on site during lunchtime. Now that it was so successful, it's also becoming a global initiative. So more countries and regions are currently implementing it. On my next slide, I would like to talk about circular economy principles. So in the past, we had our IT equipment, laptops, iPads, iPhones, headsets, keyboards, mouses, cable, anything. We just throw them away due to data protection and any other reasons. Luckily, we found a partner with whom we are now working to. The company is called AFB, which stands for Arbeit für Behinderte. If I translate it in English, it means working with disabled persons. And in AFB, the people, 50% of the staff is these are people with handicaps. So we are doing a win-win situation. So first, we don't throw away our IT equipment, so it goes into a circle. They upcycle the products that we're giving them, and then if they are working, they are reselling them on their platform. And if the device is not working anymore, they try to get out any material that they can do so they can produce any other things. And the other thing is that we're social and supporting disabled persons. And at the end of the year, we also receive a big amount of our laptops that we sold to this company, and we are donating it to charity organizations. And related to that, I will come to my final slide, because I've named my presentation a net zero world and a fair world is a better world. I also think that now that poverty is also more increasing, we as a company or everybody should take the responsibility and also think about the people that are not lucky and blessed to have a meal every day. So at JLL, we created the Global Communities Week, where we once a year try to support our communities in that we are living. It's a week where we dedicate different activities. We go to food banks, we paint walls in children foster homes, we repair a bicycle, anything you can imagine, or also cleanups. And the target in the communities is that we want to achieve 20,000 days by the end of 2023. So this year's result was that we, 4,500 JLLers in 25 countries, participated the Global Communities Week. We spent 2,200 days, and we almost raised $300,000. And we made sure that our activities were related to 3 of our 6 SDGs that we are committed to. And now I'm in the end. I thank you very much, and I'm happy to take any questions if you have one. Thank you very much.